This is Capsule on liveinlimbo.com. My name is Sean Chin.
And I am Andreas Babiolakis. This is an adventure to music, film, and pop culture.
How are you doing, Andreas?
Pretty good. Streamingly well, which we're going to get into that soon. But it sounds like we have a lot of pop culture related stuff to talk about today, actually, and not just music or film for once. So I guess because of that, we have another visit from a special guest who knows a lot about pop culture, don't we?
That's right. Hey, Mary-Anne, how's it going?
Hey guys, thanks for having me back, and back so soon, no less.
Well, I think it's mainly because you are the pop culture goddess of the team, and then anytime I see some news related to pop culture, and we just have to bring you in.
I'm very honored, thank you.
I think this episode, so by the time you listen to this, you'll be thinking, why isn't it released on Tuesday when it's usually released? And that's because I was just waiting for the right moment to try get everything into one episode, and I still think we might be lacking on one article, like news tidbit tomorrow that happens, but we'll see. We'll just get through this first.
I wasn't wondering that at all.
Yeah. So, but on this episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about wrestling. Brock Lesnar. Yes, big wrestling fans here. Zayn from One Direction. Aha reuniting. Taylor Swift. Tidal, the new streaming service. Pono, and the roast of Justin Bieber, and maybe some other stuff along the way. So first of all, Mary-Anne, you like Brock Lesnar, right?
He definitely is a character, I'll say that. So my history with wrestling actually is from my past. I used to watch a lot of wrestling growing up, and then I sort of got into UFC a little bit more, so MMA fighting. So I sort of got to see a bit of Brock Lesnar dabble in both worlds.
Very cool. How about you, Andreas? You're a big man too. Not as big as him, but you're probably the biggest member of the team.
I'd be like a lightweight there, probably.
Andreas, you are Live in Limbo's Brock Lesnar.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. The only Brock I think I'd be associated with is the Brock from Pokemon at this point. But no, I was never really into wrestling. The closest I ever came was a little bit of UFC. I was never massively into that, but I did actually go to a UFC event for my brother-in-law's bachelor party, and it was pretty cool, actually. I've never been highly invested in any sort of fighting sport, except the closest I came to was a very mild, quick interest in boxing because of, well, a few good boxing movies like Raging Bull, and I watched a little bit, and that was it. Well, one day you'll hear how I feel about Rocky.
Okay, save that for another episode then.
Yeah, mark my words. And trust me, you're not going to like it. But anyways, no, I've never really been heavily into wrestling, and so many people have tried to get me into it. And what I've noticed over the years is a lot of highly intelligent people are into wrestling, and a lot of them would say, we know it's fake. It's just our shallow entertainment. You have... Well, me personally, I have SpongeBob. That's my mindless stupidity of entertainment. And I could see why wrestling is an outsource for some people. Of course, they know that a lot of it isn't real. Some of it is, but most of it isn't. And actually, just on a quick aside, did any of you see that death that happened in the Mexican wrestling ring with Rey Mysterio? Actually?
I did.
Yeah,
that's tragic. That's like a terrible mistake and
freak accident.
Yeah, freak
really.
accident.
Yeah, that's awful. And that's the thing about wrestling, is like it is real to an extent, obviously, because that wouldn't have happened if it was all fake.
And there's obviously extensive training that these people do. I mean, I also, going back to my pop culture love, I know a lot about the divas, so all the female wrestlers, because they have a TV show called Total Divas, and it's just kind of cool because every so often you'll get this little glimpse into the training that they do and the constant exercise that they're doing, and they're in fantastic shape. So it's almost, in a way, more difficult because it's not 100%, because of the scripted aspect of it, I guess you could say, because it, that you're having to coordinate your moves, not only yourself, but with another individual. And it's a very fast-paced sport.
Yeah, and look what happened with the fight with Rey Mysterio, and I think it's his son, I believe. I don't actually know Rey Mysterio Jr. I don't know.
No, that's not. They're not related, but
Oh well, fine.
No, okay, but
Shows how much of an expert I am. But yeah, it just goes to show what can happen if you don't do it right.
two quick things. So your SpongeBob, you're a big fan because you wrote a review, and the link to that film review will be in the show notes. I think you thought it was okay.
Yeah, I wasn't too big on the newest movie, but the first 4 seasons, if I want to have a brain atrophy, come at me. I will watch the first 4 seasons over and over again, and that's some of my most shallow entertainment. I just admitted it. So.
Escapism, it's important in life.
Escapism, yes. But and then the second thing is that Rey Mysterio death. That was, I don't know if you actually watch it, I don't know which part of it actually started. Like I think he fell out the ring, and then when he came back, he got like a very small drop kick. It wasn't even like the most devastating drop kick ever done.
I don't think you see the actual death. I think you see it after the fact that
No, they have the whole clip.
Do they really?
Yeah, but basically he gets a drop kick from Rey Mysterio when he's like he's like on the ground, and then I guess just the way his forehead hits the rope, it just snaps the neck.
Yeah, I think it was just the way it connected, and it was just really unfortunate how it had to happen.
Yeah.
What was that sound effect? It sounded like you had like a soundboard. It was just like I need a sound effect for a neck cracking.
Oh my god,
that's a little cryptic.
Yeah, did it sound like that?
Yeah, what was that? What did you do? Did you crackle like tinfoil?
Oh, I think I just snapped my fingers. I'm trying to snap my fingers again, but nothing happened.
Well, it could sound like this, maybe.
Yes. Oh my god, Andreas. What was that?
Those were my hands.
Oh my god.
That actually wasn't the best of things to have done.
Okay, that's a terrible. This is going really sad right now. Okay. Anyway, okay, so like the actual topic, back to Brock Lesnar.
Yes,
anyways, so what happened was people were thinking that he would be leaving WWE to go back to the UFC, but just 3 days before the big day on Sunday, which was WrestleMania, he resigned to them. And so he's saying that his career and interest in MMA is officially over. The door is shut. This is like wise for him in the stage of his life, like age-wise and financially and health-wise.
Yeah, definitely a good career move, especially as an MMA fan and a UFC fan. My husband and I, almost every single card that comes out, we buy it or we go out and watch it at a bar. And I don't know if it's just us, but the quality of the cards is going down. And I'm sure you've heard plenty of news stories about the constant abuse of drugs, and I just think it's getting a little bit of bad media right now, and there's a lot of issues that need to be worked out. And one of the best fighters, George St. Pierre, refuses to come back until something gets done with this. So,
sorry, continue.
Oh, I was just going to say, so for Brock Lesnar, who's sort of done his thing in the UFC, this was a great move, I think, and it was perfect timing and really well marketed 3 days before WrestleMania.
Speaking of which, though, because we're linking MMA fighting and wrestling together, wasn't wrestling more realistic back in the day? Is MMA almost going the same direction wrestling is? Maybe not with performance art, but with the use of steroids, with the need to appeal to fans and advertising. You know, it's almost like it's going the same direction.
Yeah, you could say that. You could definitely say that.
Yeah, but I guess in their heavyweight division, especially in the UFC, it's not so great. But for WWE's purpose, I think they got a good deal and they locked Brock in for another 3 years. But so this changed like the dynamics. People know like the outcomes are the outcomes are predetermined, but they do train for it, and there could be surprises. And so when people found out that he resigned, people were like, "Oh, he's definitely gonna win at WrestleMania." And it turns out like that was a great match between him and Roman Reigns for the world title, and he dominated. I don't know if you saw it, Mary-Anne.
I didn't actually get a chance to see it.
Okay, but he like totally dominated the whole match.
I heard. Twitter told me.
Yeah. And then near to the end, when it looked like Brock was gonna finish him, this guy Seth Rollins, he has something called the Money in the Bank briefcase where he can he can cash in a title shot anytime he wants. He comes in, makes it a triple threat match, and then he pins Roman Reigns and he wins the title. So Brock actually did not get pinned.
And which is what everybody was expecting, really.
Yes. So Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there-
if you're listening to the show, you probably are like, why the hell are they talking about wrestling?
That's what I'm wondering right now.
Listen,
Well, it is pop culture.
it's entertainment at the end of the day. So
That's right.
absolutely.
So-
And did you see the crowds? My gosh.
Insane.
Oh, what a
76,000. I went last year to WrestleMania 30 in
No
New Orleans
way.
Superdome.
I
had no
Mercedes-Benz
idea.
Superdome. Yeah. It's amazing.
The
There's
Undertaker-
nothing like that vibe, I'm sure.
That's the one and only WrestleMania I attend is the one where the Undertaker loses the streak.
Yeah, what are the odds of that?
It's all your fault.
21-1. Yes, that's right.
It's because you went, John.
And it was to Brock Lesnar. So
Okay,
Was
well,
it?
there you go. It all
Yeah.
sort of ties in together nicely.
yeah. All right. So I know, Andreas, you were devastated when you found out that Zayn quit One Direction. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I just thought it was just like the Brock Lesnar thing. He's just like, I'm going back to being what I was before, a solo artist and not a member of a band. I'm not part of this lifestyle anymore. I was like, it's Brock Lesnar. Oh wait, no, it's the dude from One Direction. I see. Okay.
Apparently, he got fired.
Well, there's a story that I've heard, and I haven't really had a chance to read into it too much, but allegedly there's been a lot of substance abuse or alcohol abuse. I'm not sure which of the two. And one story I heard was that he was given an ultimatum: either clean up your act and stick around, or you're going to have to leave. So I think ultimately he chose to leave, but there was obviously this pressure. I mean, they're a clean-cut boy band that, for the majority of their fans, are under 20. I mean, that's not a good look for them.
Well, two things though.
Who's
First of
in
all,
charge though? Like,
if I was in One
Simon
Direction,
Cowell's somewhere in the mix.
oh my god.
if I was in One Direction, I'd take substances too. And number two, if I had to pick an
Ouch.
ultimatum, anything getting out of One Direction, I'd be like, oh yeah, please.
You know what,
Please.
though? You might not like their music, and
No.
I think whenever there's a very teen-based pop star or group, Andreas does not like the fans. They drive him nuts. So I think that's, like, you have to give the
Well,
guy his due. I mean,
Okay.
or
in
the
all
band
s-
their due, rather.
In all seriousness, let's actually be serious here.
Yes, let's please.
Okay. One Direction. I don't care for them because I don't listen to them, so they don't personally annoy me, and I stay away from the fan base. They don't actually annoy me. I just wanted to take some shots because apparently so did he.
Apparently,
But
it's the roast of Zayn Malik tonight, too.
but let's be real here. Okay, so when Spice Girls were a thing back in the day, whether you like them or not, when Jerry was kicked out, it was a big deal as well.
That
So
was devastating. I remember writing in my diary and crying. It was terrible. It was awful. I remember.
right, but it's 10 times worse now because she wasn't doing substances and she wasn't a part
Exactly.
of social media where every single thing is calculated and documented. So
Yep, we live in a very different world.
yeah, so when Chloe Grace Moretz brings up a good point by saying people care about a boy band losing a member more than people losing their lives on a plane, and a huge fan base tells Chloe Grace Moretz, who's kind of a respectable actress, to go kill herself and mind her own business and F off and all of these terrible, terrible things. Yeah, it seems really petty, but at the same time, when I'm not justifying what they're saying, but we live in an age now where this kind of thing seems acceptable because all these people think that they could get away with saying stuff like this online. And I don't know. To me, this brings up a good point as how far are we bringing people to liking a band so much that they're saying stuff like this and thinking that it's okay. So when
absolutely.
a member has to leave for good reason because they need to rehabilitate themselves, and you have fans doing this, to me, this almost can be linked to, remember Cut for Bieber, where people were cutting themselves because Justin Bieber was
Oh
doing
my
stuff?
gosh. I forgot about that.
To me, this is like that. This is a mass
Yeah.
hysteria where it's like, if they do any decision, no matter what it is, their fans are going to react in such an explosive way that it's unhealthy.
I really
Oh.
hope my kids are not like that.
Yeah, it's terrifying. It's unfortunate.
But on the bright side, I thought he was like the leader of the band, but it turns out the
No.
guy with the hair is what's his name?
Harry Styles.
Yes,
I
Harry.
don't even
that's a
like
great
them, and
name.
even I could tell that Harry was a leader. You could just tell sometimes. Like,
Zayn is like the last member, like the Lance of
Was he
Backstreet
like-
Boys.
was he like the drunk
Listen,
guy in
Sean,
Backstreet
Lance-
Boys?
Lance is NSYNC. I tried
Yeah,
to give Sean a pop culture lesson on boy bands from the 90s. He's the Howie of the Backstreet Boys, is what Sean.
Howie.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Even
Lance
though,
is...
no offense to Howie, because Howie is an integral part of the Backstreet Boys.
That's what everyone says. So okay, let's
it's
get this
true.
straight. So Harry is like the Justin Timberlake and
Yes.
like the Nick Carter
You nailed it. That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
But interesting news. Billboard yesterday posted that Zayn Malik's first solo song was released, and it's called "I Won't Mind." Did you guys hear about this?
Oh no, I did not.
Well,
Andreas and I were like, oh.
crickets. So it's called "I Don't Mind," or "I Won't Mind," rather, and it's very interesting, the title and the timing. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's like Andreas, you said, how if somebody has a problem, we're in a culture where instead of shaming someone for doing the right thing, let's commend him. And if maybe making solo music is part of his therapy and part of what he has to do, the road to what he needs to.
Is it like an acoustic?
To be honest, I didn't listen to it.
How did he make it so quickly?
Well, he was on drugs.
Oh,
That explains.
okay.
Oh, come on.
I was saying he got some help. It's okay. He'll be fine. Don't worry. But
apparently, Billboard quotes, it is a heartfelt elliptical folk song in which Malik croons over an acoustic guitar.
Oh yeah, so it's like a quick thing that he probably just didn't hit the record button.
Well, people were saying in jest that they wanted One Direction to be the new Beatles, and as far from the truth as that can ever be, I guess this is something where it's like, oh, okay, maybe they're trying to appreciate that goal themselves. Where again, nobody will ever come
4 people
close.
only, not 5.
Well, no, but the Fab Five, it still works. But they'll never come close. But at the same time, maybe it's what they needed. Maybe they were like a lot of other bands where they said, "Okay, this limelight is killing us. We need to do something different."
Well, we have to remember too how old these guys are, and like it kind of can lend it.
How old are they?
I will find out shortly, but
younger than me with all of their ages combined. I can tell you that.
But it kind of leads us into the topic of Justin Bieber, who was roasted last night. I mean,
yes,
these are
great.
Such young artists who, over such a short period of time, even though it might have taken years that they've been making music, but they're young and their short lives have had so much fame, so much saturation in the media and attention and money and touring and not really a stable life that, considering that there's 5 of them, I'm not good at math, but 1 out of 5 to have an issue, I mean, that's not exactly shocking, right?
Also, you raise a good point because many of us dislike Justin Bieber or full out hate him. I'm included. We've all made fun of him. But think of it this way. It's not just the fame and all of that. If you have the whole world, like dumping on this guy, like I have been, I'm sure both of you have at some point.
I'm a believer, sorry.
Oh my God.
Sean, can you edit that out?
I will defend that in a minute. Go on.
But the point is, with so many people hating on them, I don't care who it is. You've got to assume that somebody with so much hatred towards them will become hateful. And
but both hatred and love, to be told by millions of people that you're the best thing on this earth, and then to be told the opposite, go kill yourself, you're a terrible artist.
Yeah.
Like, where's the middle ground?
Both emotions are unhealthy because, as you said,
they're too
he's either told go kill yourself, or people saying in his name, you like such and such singer, not Justin Bieber, go kill yourself because Justin Bieber is my god and I would marry the man if I could.
Well, it's literally kill yourself or I will kill myself for you. Like it's two polar opposites. And to defend my comment that I'm a believer, I started listening to Justin Bieber very, very early on.
Wait, so you're a believer from the beginning, or you're like a born again believer?
I would call myself a born again believer. So from day one, I used to listen to him when he was this cute little kid with his wispy, weird hairdo, and
so you saw his face and you were a believer.
Well, I just wanted to know more about who this Canadian artist was, and I listened to his music, and he had a beautiful, pure voice, and it was empty music. It wasn't something that I listened to change my life, but I listened to it. It was nice. It calmed me down. It was whatever. Then he went through this phase that he went through, and you know what? I never pointed a finger, and yeah, I made my own jokes here and there too. I'm not perfect. I won't say that, but watching the roast last night and just knowing that he went on Ellen DeGeneres' talk show to say that, look, I'm not perfect. I'm 21 years old. Imagine 21 and everything he has. Yes, he messed up. And yes, he did some disgusting, shameful things that are unquestionable, but you have to take your hat off to him for taking ownership at 21. I know a lot of 21-year-olds who made mistakes that to this day will deny that they did anything wrong, and
I did nothing.
Andreas being, no, I'm kidding, he's not one of them, but for the fact that he asked to be roasted, and at the end of it, he sat there and took every lashing like a champion.
I watched it too. It was great.
Yeah, Sean and I were tweeting.
Well, I didn't know he asked for it. That's cool.
Asked for it. And he said, for my birthday, I'm turning 21. I want to show people that I know I messed up. I'm not perfect, but I'm willing to literally take this lashing. And at the end of the roast, he even said, I'm sorry to my fans. I let a lot of people down, including myself. And you know what? I have even more respect for him now than I did before any of the nonsense.
I have to agree. After watching that, I do have a little more respect for him, but not for his music, just for him.
No, you don't have to like the music, exactly. If that's a personal choice.
Snoop Dogg was great, and Martha Stewart and Shaquille O'Neal. Oh my god,
Shaquille O'Neal was hilarious. He literally, him and Kevin Hart too.
Kevin Hart,
you know what? They were such good sports when people were. If people don't know the format of a roast, there are about 8 to 10 people that roast one individual as well as each other. So these guys honestly took the beatings, and they were laughing so hard at the jokes that were being said about themselves. Shaquille O'Neal, literally every time someone would make a joke about him, he had tears streaming down his face. Such a good sport. Honestly,
what was that lady? Natasha...
Legaro.
Oh my god, hilarious. I don't know who she was, but she said Snoop Dogg was like Shaquille O'Neal's skeleton.
Yes, and then somebody else said that he looked like a retired WNBA player. Yeah. Oh, you know what? They for the most part, it was a very clean cut in terms of going too far below the belt. Not too many people did, but the ones that went below the belt, they were really nasty. I don't know if all the listeners know that Justin Bieber's mom was a teen mom, and somebody made a very nasty abortion joke.
Yeah.
Oh, it was her. Okay.
With a coat hanger.
Yeah, and that was too much for me. And they also dug a little into Selena Gomez. One of the jokes was, did Justin Bieber break up with Selena Gomez because she grew a mustache before him? Now, Andreas is loving this.
He should watch the whole thing. He'd love it.
Also, was Kevin Hart below the belt the entire time, giving his height and everything?
Oh, you should have seen him standing beside Shaquille O'Neal. It was beautiful. I loved it. But one thing that I heard that did not get aired, and I'm really glad they didn't air it.
What was that?
They made a lot of comments because Justin Bieber had a lot of issues with driving and speeding and fancy cars, and I don't know what was said, but there were some very classless Paul Walker jokes. Which is, it's not right. And Ludacris was he thought it was ludicrous. Crickets. But I'm very glad that they did not include those, because both Ludacris and Justin Bieber, and I'm sure many more, were outraged, and that was not included, thankfully.
It's got nothing to do with it, though.
It's too soon, too insensitive. Just no need to go there.
And especially with the new the Furious movie coming out.
Correct.
Yes. But also to note, Martha Stewart spent more time in jail than everyone else on the stage.
That was the best line. One of them said, Martha Stewart, a 53-year-old white woman, has more street cred than Snoop Dogg and Ludacris.
Well, that's true.
And you know what? Martha Stewart was a good sport, because they ragged on her jail time, they ragged on her age, and there were a lot of really odd sexual jokes surrounding Martha Stewart, more than I expected to hear. But I really thought it was hilarious.
Andres, would you watch like a video with Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart?
I have already. It's them making something on our show, some sort of cooking episode.
No, I mean like adult video.
Was it brownies?
Adult video?
Yes.
Why in God's name would I watch that show?
Just out of curiosity.
Well, they're both adults and they were cooking, so I guess, that's an adult video. But anyways, to try and make sense out of all of this at Justin Bieber and bring it back to the whole One Direction thing, I feel like a lot of hatred comes from the fact that the media tries to find more and more ways for us to pick fun at these people, that we often forget, hey, they're stupid, but we all were once, right? I mean,
Exactly.
I probably still am,
We
and
just didn't have Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and all these news
paparazzi.
feeds all day long.
Yeah, and like, yes, I've never urinated in a janitor's bucket. Yes, I never asked somebody to lift me up a flight of stairs because I had an ego. Okay, I haven't done a lot of things Justin Bieber did, and I still think he's a moron. But the whole point is, a lot of this is the media saying, oh, they've latched on to so-and-so and their misfortunes. Yes, let's give them more. Let's try and dig up as much as they can, to the point where they feel the need to do that because that's what they're known for doing. So
Yeah, well,
in the end,
before
it's a downward spiral.
it is. And before, when there were skeletons in the closet, there wasn't exactly a way of having them exposed to the world. And now, not only is it exposed to the world, but it will be the number one trending topic on Twitter within 5 minutes.
Yeah, because think about it. A lot of what happened, like with the marijuana smoking with One Direction, which I doubt that's the worst thing in the world, and Justin Bieber's racist music, which that is awful, but a lot of that was recorded and saved and then suddenly leaked to the world long after the event. A little bit of that is suspicious.
Oh, absolutely. These types of things are very suspect. And they even brought it up last night about how when he was peeing in the bucket, why wouldn't you just tell your guys to turn around and stop filming? Or why were they filming you in the first place? So we're in that type of culture where people see a fire and their first reaction is, oh my gosh, let me get my phone out. I need to tape this.
Yes.
No, that is not what the first reaction should be. But that's the society we live in. Everybody wants everything now.
Yeah.
It's like the banning of this.
World.
It's like the banning of the selfie stick. Did you see that news
I
article
saw that.
where they were this group of people were taking a picture with a selfie stick? I didn't make the word up. I hate it as well. In front of this massive fire, I believe. And instead of saying anything else about the fire, somebody took a picture of them, put it on the front page of that newspaper, and called them village idiots. And I was like, thank you. That's exactly what the society needs. Because you don't take a picture of yourself with it. That's not what this is. You react to the emergency. Stop living through a screen.
Exactly. And I used to be, when I'd go to concerts, unless I'm reviewing for Capsule or Live in Limbo, of course, I used to always want to take photos. And you literally are watching this concert or
Of yourself
event.
or of the concert?
Of the concert.
Oh,
so,
okay.
like, whatever artist I was watching. And you literally are watching in like a 2x2 screen. Hello, put the camera down, get your couple shots, but put it down and just live your life, live the moment. There's that commercial. I know this is kind of off topic, but there's a commercial where there's a parent who's sitting on a bench in a park watching his kids. And the screen starts to close in and it's just getting, just pitch black. And it's just showing a very small margin of the kids playing. And it's showing that there's this parent too busy on his phone, not living his life watching his child. And I feel like we're in that world where we're constantly looking at a screen and our heads are down and we're constantly connected and buzzing. And we just have to put that down sometimes and just live. I really, and I'm a victim of it and I'm guilty of it myself, but sometimes we just have to live.
Well, a lot of singers are against it, actually. When I went to go see Neutral Milk Hotel on my birthday last year, Jeff Mangum, like the lead singer and musician of that band, after one song said, okay, everybody, I know it's like a reunion. We haven't been around for a while and you might not ever see us again, but please don't record this. Just live a little bit. And yeah, a lot of musicians are like that, actually, including Jack White, which I think will lead into our next topic a little bit easily, right? Where you have this musician universal or a unity rather, where they all band together on a specific topic, where it's not just about living vicariously through technology, but also the distribution of said music through technology. Because what do we have, Sean?
We have a new, well, it's not really new, but like it was started a few years ago, and then Jay-Z bought it recently and rebranded it. What?
For 25 mil.
Yes, 25 mil.
Wow.
And it is called US dollars, which is like plus 20% Canadian dollars. And it is called Tidal. It's a high fidelity. So it's the differentiator here. It's a high fidelity streaming service. They do offer a standard similar to Spotify and RDO quality streaming service for $9.99. And then they have a new high fidelity. I don't know what the bit rate is there yet, but it's like $20 a month.
It's
lossless. $19.99. I can't imagine who will be jumping to pay that.
I think it's a good idea, but they're doing it for the wrong price at the wrong time. $20 is way too much. And if you know from like rumors of what the upcoming Apple Beats service is, it's going to be $7.99 or the same $9.99, but it will not be 20. And I also think like just looking at my friends and peers in general, people only have 1 gig of data or less a month. So if you use the high lossless streaming service, that will be 30 to 50 megabytes a song. Your data will go quickly.
Well, the way I look at it, there are pros and cons to Tidal. And I mean, look at everybody that's involved. You have, of course, Jay-Z, Kanye, Beyonce, Madonna, Daft Punk,
Daft Punk,
Deadmau5,
Jason
Jack White,
Aldean,
Arcade Fire.
Arcade Fire. A lot of people. Now,
across the genres of music too, which is important to note.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Now you can argue for and against almost virtually everything about Tidal, which is so peculiar. Look at it this way. There's a big amount of respectable artists included. Yet, these same artists are the same ones that bring up controversy and have double-sided issues all the time. People make fun of or love Jay-Z, Kanye, Jack White for his shenanigans, Daft Punk for their ambiguity, Deadmau5 for what he says, Madonna especially. There are so many arguments for and against both these artists. You don't have people like Sam Smith or Adele where it's like people don't really mock these people. So you could see people saying, yes, here's a group of people that are incredible, or look at all of these loons, what are they doing this time? You know, so you have that. You also have remember when Dakota and I were talking about the streaming service and we wanted something like this?
Yeah.
You can say, yes, this is what we need. But at this point, it's a bit loony again, to use that word again, where it's like, it's pretty expensive. And we get why they want lossless, because so many people who love listening to music for the right reasons will want to hear it with the purest quality. But I was talking about it with Dakota earlier, actually, before the podcast and everything, and he brought up a good point. Most people who have headphones are using their iPod headphones or whatever came with their phone because it's the easiest. They don't want to batter it up while they're out in public, you know? And what difference is it going to make with whatever you have if it's not like a YouTube rip? If it's MP3 or FLAC, you're not going to know the difference with really cheap headphones. So that's already out the window. Never mind for the fact they have to pay $19.99 or $20 a month for this. And yes, they have a few things that are bonus material, but again, if you're not interested in the artist, why bother anyway? So you could either argue for or against it. Tidal is just really, really peculiar.
Yeah.
My question with the exclusive material that I read about as well, what's stopping somebody who leaks it to the rest of us? Do we know what's in place to prevent that, or is there something?
There's nothing in place. You could easily do that.
So, I mean, really, yes, it's this exclusive club and you're paying, but I don't know. What were you going to say, Sean? Sorry.
I think the only reason why all of these big name artists join, one is because, yes, they're kind of like the misfits, as Andreas said, with double...
Or Illuminati up here.
Yeah, like that stuff. But also, they said this service is made by artists for people to listen to. But if you look at it in detail, the 16 artists which made it were all paid, well, not paid, but like they were given 3% equity of the company.
Yeah, that's important to note.
And think of it this way, like Jay-Z didn't create this company, he bought it and reinvented it. So this isn't like a soul off the ground blueprint, lack for a better word. That's not a pun of any sort, but this isn't a sole creation of his. It was bought and revamped.
If Jay-Z didn't buy it, if Joe Blow off of Wall Street bought it, would it really be getting the attention that it is getting?
No.
Exactly. These are all of Jay-Z's friends. You know, Jay-Z likes Kanye, who's linked to Daft Punk.
It's the cool crowd. It's the cool crowd effect.
But guys, we all know what the real reason this is happening, right?
The Illuminati?
No, it's because Jay-Z is jealous of Dr. Dre.
Oh,
the battle of
y'all forgot about Dre again.
We didn't forget about Dre. He forgot about Detox. That's what he forgot.
Okay, but so Jay-Z actually, in the article from Stereo Gum and Billboard, which I'll link in the show notes, he talks to Jimmy Iovine, who is the co-founder with Dr. Dre for Beats. He tells him like straight up, you guys are going to do great things with Beats, but you guys don't have to, I don't have to lose in order for you guys to win. Let's just remember that.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to win anyway, so.
And it's interesting. He said in possibly the same interview or article that people are not respecting the music. They're devaluing what it really means. And then he continues to say people really feel like music is free, but will pay $6 for water. You can drink water free out of the tap and it's good water, but they're okay paying for it. It's just that mindset right now. But in a way, that's sort of insulting people who do listen to music for free as well. That doesn't mean that they're devaluing what the music really means.
Yeah. Also, another thing to note is that Tidal does not have a huge catalog anywhere near as big as Spotify or RDO.
Yes, I heard that.
When you think about it, though, when I look at it, this is a streaming service for those 16 artists catalog.
Yeah.
They haven't said how other musicians or indie artists benefit from this service.
Correct. And the exclusive material, one of the things I read was that it's a Beyonce video. So is it just going to constantly be that these artists are saturating Tidal, and then that's sort of where
I think
ends?
it will just, those are the only people that will benefit the most from Tidal.
Yeah. Which I'm sure, that appeals to a lot of people, but because they've strategically taken artists from EDM, from country, from pop, from whatever, rap, hip hop, across the board, but the music industry is so much more than these 16 artists, and I don't think that I don't know if that'll hurt them a lot.
I think this is just a start, and these are just big names to start with, because they're basically saying this is Noah's Ark. There are two of all of us. There's two members of Daft Punk. There are two members in both the Jay-Z and Kanye West collaboration. There are two people who awkwardly missed a handshake, Deadmau5 and Madonna. There's all of these pairings and connections. Why don't you jump on board with us on this great digital arc called Tidal and ride the wave?
Did you not see the photos on Twitter? Kanye and a lot of people didn't look too excited about it.
Well, there's one person, Sean, you and I talked about this yesterday on Twitter, Colin XCADE, whatever. That's his Twitter handle. And he posted some of the pictures and he wrote, "Why are they acting like they found the cure to cancer?" I mean, the faces, they're so... In a way, I think some of these artists take themselves a little too seriously.
That's delusional. And you could obviously argue that Madonna is bought into her own hype, especially with a lot of stuff that she's done.
As of lately, especially.
Yeah, but you could tell that some people are probably just doing this because it's like, hey, let's get on about this and do something cool. But you could tell that some people are so separated from reality where it's like they probably think a banana is worth like $20. It's like, okay, let's do a streaming service. People can pay $20. Come on,
How removed from what life really is for the average person are they? I mean,
well, some of them are robots.
Yeah, well, some of them are robots. But I think you brought a really good point before, Andreas. Like, the barrier to entry for Tidal is very, very high. So first of all, it's a third-party app. It's not like the iTunes app built into your iPhone. So you have to download this first. Then you have to pay $20, which is almost twice as much as the Spotify or RDO. And then to actually enjoy that high fidelity audio, you have to buy high quality headphones.
And what you said, there's a smaller catalog. So you're
very small catalog.
A much smaller catalog.
I don't think it will do well.
I think it will.
You think it will do well?
I will, because this is something that people are eating up.
The thing is, if it wasn't Jay-Z and his 16 coolest friends, I could see it going south. Even if it was just Jay-Z and Beyonce, I could see it going south. But these artist stakeholders, not only because they're just a part of it, but because they are literally stakeholders, I think that's on their benefit.
I think, I don't know, but the philosophy, like the business model of that is different than someone like a company like Apple. They don't give you equity and they barely pay for promotion. Like, artists want to go to them.
Yeah.
Well, I just looking at it this way: when it comes to people who will buy and who won't buy into this service, there are people. Okay, what Alicia Keys said about Friedrich Nietzsche. There are people who said that's very profound, and there are people who said that's really peculiar that you would quote Friedrich Nietzsche when it comes to this service. Those are the people who will be buying and not buying into the service.
Yeah, I think it's a very clear dichotomy. There's people that are 100% on board and will be paying, and then there's the other side of things where they absolutely will not be. And I think there's not.
Weird.
Well, yeah, well, we'll see. But we'll see. So, like the Pono player by Neil Young, he had a lot of celebrity support as well, and it looks like it's flopping pretty badly.
Yeah.
Did you watch that video I sent you, Dave Poe from Yahoo Tech? And then he compared the Pono player to a normal iPhone, and more people actually, in a blind test with the same music, same headphones, and people actually chose the iPhone over it.
Yeah, they did. And they were saying that it was on the majority, they were saying on average 10% better.
Yeah.
And they were saying that 10% better was not Pono. So I think that was a bit of a shock for some people, and one of the people said it's certainly not $400 worth of better quality, because that's what I believe the
Pono,
rate is.
it's different because you have to buy a totally new device, which looks totally ugly and unergonomic.
It's not the
Oh,
worst.
I was just about to say the least ergonomic item, and
Yeah.
it's literally a triangular prism.
It's not the worst thing though. You could just get one of your Fisher Price block building things and shove it in, and you have a good place to store it.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, like if you put that in your pocket, it's gonna be like a Toblerone bar sticking out of it.
It's gonna look
Absolutely.
bad in public, that's for sure.
And then you have to re-buy all those albums that you had before.
Yeah, that's the backwards part. I found that part a little bit.
So in a way, I think Jay-Z's idea is better than the Pono's idea because you can use whatever device you already have. And who wants to carry more than one device, right?
Exactly.
I just carry the iPhone, which Andreas, you should buy.
I'm perfectly fine with my Samsung. It's all good.
It's okay. 2 out of 3, Sean.
So
2 out of
speaking of artists who are not part of those 16 and are actually doing something really good, so Fortune released their 50 greatest leaders of the world. Andreas, do you want to take a guess at like who the top 5 world's greatest leaders are?
Taylor Swift.
Not in the top 5. She is number 6, which is pretty good though.
Well,
So I was gonna
that's
say
not the
number
worst.
one. Number one. I don't know. It's kind of weird though. So you have like number
Sean
1 is
Tidal.
Tim Cook, yes, from
Mhm.
Apple, and then you have like 2 prime ministers of countries, which makes sense. Number
Yeah.
4 is Pope Francis, and then number 6 you have Taylor Swift. Surprisingly enough, Barack Obama is not on this list at all, which kind of makes me question it. But yeah,
I called
He's
this years ago.
He's trying to help the country, don't you know?
but
It's just unreal that Taylor Swift is 2 positions shy of Pope Francis, the international leader of the Roman Catholic Church.
well, I would think Pope Francis would be number 1 to begin with. Like he's doing a really good job at what he's doing, even if you're not Catholic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's literally what Fortune describes these people as. They are extraordinary men and women who are transforming business, government, philanthropy, and so much more. So to see such a huge artist's positioning within this list among world leaders and the Pope, for God's sake, literally the Pope. I mean, it's,
yeah. Well, and Elon Musk of Tesla is 23, and then Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook is 25. So
yes,
Taylor
I saw Mark was
6.
25. Yeah. LeBron
Even
James is
age-wise.
31, which I thought was a bit interesting.
So yeah,
I mean, I'm a
see
huge
an
basketball
artist, like a musical artist, like Taylor, I think she deserves it. Number 6, yeah.
Well, I mean, it certainly speaks to the influence of pop culture. I mean, I sort of sit on 2 chairs for this one. For pop culture and music and entertainment, I think this is a huge win to have somebody so high up, and it shows what an influence music has and pop culture in general. But
Well,
it
I'm
also
happy it's her. Out of all the people you could have chosen music-wise.
Of course, Sean. We know you like Taylor Swift a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean, she was chosen, so she obviously is the one. But then I sit on the other chair and I'm thinking, I mean, the fact that she is ahead of some of these individuals. I mean, there are names there that I admittedly have never heard of before. But as I read through some of these people's profiles, it's really shocking that singers up there, but I mean, like I said, it's sort of a victory for pop culture as well.
Do you think Tim Cook is deserving of number one? Because Steve Jobs was number one before.
I don't think he should be number one. I do agree that the Pope should be number one, but specifically Pope Francis, because I just think
Not
that
the last one.
Well,
Yeah, we
Not
won't
the
get to that.
we won't go there. God rest his soul. We'll just move on from that one. But
He's still alive.
oh, that's right.
Pope
We're
Benedict.
gonna move on. But
Awkward.
just, I'm just reading here. I mean, the things that Pope Francis has done in terms of charity and
changing the image of how the public perceives the Catholic people.
absolutely, I think. Well, he's highly respected, like you said, whether you're a Catholic or not. I don't know. What do you guys think in terms of it being a win for pop culture?
I think it's great that they have someone from the music industry in the top 10. I think that rounds out, like when they say the world's greatest leaders, that you need to have a diverse top 10. So they have world leaders, religious leaders, tech innovators, and you should have like one artist at least.
Well, the way I see it, and I'm not a massive Taylor Swift fan, I'm not going to call it a massive win or anything, but the way I see it as at least being interesting and worth noting is because Taylor Swift is like One Direction. She has this massive fan base.
No, she is not like One Direction.
No, but hear me out. She has a massive fan base, right? That is at her beck and call. She keeps her fan base a little bit more at bay because she's trying to do stuff with her music, which it's been done before. Obviously, she's not innovative in that respect, but she's trying new things without losing everybody, but still trying to engage them with something that's a bit different and a little bit classy, I would say, where it's like, hey, I'm doing the pop thing, but I'm going to do throwbacks to back when I was just born, back to the 80s. Let's look at New Wave a little bit. Let's try and touch upon things that can educate and not just entertain.
Well, that's exactly what Fortune says of her, that she doesn't have to go overly gimmicky and she's not salacious. And they literally call her arguably the anti-Miley Cyrus. So it's this wholesome idea that you're talking about, and how they say she's honing a brand in the social media age that isn't salacious, and she hasn't really had to dumb herself down. But I'm not insulting her, but I don't think her lyrics are that transformative. Maybe I just don't listen,
I wouldn't
with
say
that
so
sort of ear. But
she was the biggest artist of 2014, though.
And she literally is the highest paid woman in the music business.
Financially and record breaking and like photogenically and like energy wise.
Not like, critically though, and that's the one thing that we're missing.
No, she was critically acclaimed.
Yes, but not the biggest. But the thing is, that's the why
the whole package.
Yeah, that's why this is interesting, is because it still is well received music to an extent. It's not like considered the best music ever, but it's like, you know what, for music that's for this teen demographic that's at their beck and call, this ain't half bad, you know? Well, I don't mind her. She's okay.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I'm not anti her. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, she's treating her position a little bit better than a lot of people have treated their own respective positions, let's say.
Yeah, that is very fair.
I agree.
That is very fair to say.
Yeah, so that's why seeing her instead of somebody else who might have had like the same shot and did something very gimmicky and very offensive, not just because it's crude, but because it's just spitting in the face of fans. It's nice to see somebody take that position a little bit better and have them be listed if anybody with that kind of a fan base is listed. So I guess congrats Taylor Swift. I never thought I would say that.
So I guess coming back to the Tidal thing, I think I'll give them a year benefit of the doubt, and we'll see if they actually do release some financial reports later, or are they going to be all Illuminati and secretive? But Mary-Anne, so what do you think? Do you think there will be a success?
I think the first year they might do really well, simply because of this sensationalism and, like we talk about in this podcast and the last one, just this crowd mentality that I need to have this, I must be a part of this. Maybe then people will start to taper off and think, well, my $19.99, if I'm going the highest tier, my $19.99 isn't really, I can stretch my dollar elsewhere for music, and I'll go back to Spotify. Or
like, how much data do you have on your phone, like, for every month?
My husband and I share 6 gigs, and that's horrible. We're actually in the midst of changing our plan as we speak.
That's not
because
enough?
It's horrible. Well, I'm okay with 3 gigs personally, but my husband kind of goes between 3 and 4, so we're going over.
I have
You
6
would use
gigs
Tidal.
myself. I have 6 gigs myself.
And how do you find that you fare within those 6
Oh, no, I'm
gigs?
fine. I use about 3 like what you do.
Yeah, that's my usual.
I don't want to share my data, though.
I have a feeling he would use Tidal, though.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband is the perfect individual for these types of, I'm not going to use the word gimmick, but
I'll try it.
These
You know-
innovations with air quotes.
yes, when there's something new and exciting, he wants in.
There's a free trial, 30 days. You can try that.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I still probably won't even try the free trial. I know that's terrible. I'll just ask you,
I'd be
Sean.
curious to see what it sounds like, though.
Yeah.
How much data do you have, Andreas?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's not enough because I get close to it every month where it's like, oh, it's been 2 weeks in and I have to not use
So you
anything
must have like a
outside
gig
of
then. You must have like a gig.
No, it's more than that, but it's still pretty low. But
Dakota
it's-
always complains about his data, which is really annoying.
I just feel like this is a probably a topic for another day, but the fact that the phone plans are the prices are so inflated for
Yeah.
what you're getting. It's unreal. In the States, you see the commercials for what they get. $40, and it's pretty much what we're paying almost $100 for.
Yeah, and they get like unlimited.
Because
Yeah.
they get
Then
away with it.
if they had like one interesting thing I was gonna say. So if Tidal
Mhm.
or maybe even if Apple, whenever they release their thing, if a streaming service were to partner with a telecom company or an
Oh.
ISP company, and they say if you buy our streaming service for $9.99, or in this case $20 a month,
Mhm.
Rogers will know when you use that, and you can use that service unlimited amounts. It would not go against your data.
But if it's Rogers, it's going to break down every 2 minutes.
Rogers is okay, but I'm just saying. Let's say they do. I have Rogers, but
And
let's.
now I'm going to get cut out. My internet's going to just immediately cut out.
that happened before with Sky Sweetnam, and he's gone.
No,
Oh.
I'm here.
Got
We
you all.
reconciled. We
Yeah.
reconciled. Sorry, Rogers.
That was
You-
quick.
You was okay, people.
I would not pay 20. I'll try it though. I'll see.
Well, I will be very curious to hear your opinions, and I hope you share.
Hey, but Jay-Z, if you're listening to this and you want to give us 3% equity of Tidal, then we will all use it, and I will share it between everyone.
Exactly. And if the
We will
Illuminati
promote
is
the crap out
listening,
of it.
if the Illuminati is listening, we love you.
We
Don't
got our
hurt
eye
us.
on you, Illuminati.
Let us join you.
There's
Yeah.
3 of us. We make a triangle. Illuminati.
Do you guys like Aha, the band?
That one song?
Yeah. Well, that's my life song. Remember I told you before? Take on Me.
Well, that's the song everyone knows, and the influential music video that looks like it was like an unfinished Disney animated.
They
Yeah.
reunited. No,
Yes.
hey, don't diss that music video. That's a great
No, I'm
music
not
video.
dissing it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying that's awesome.
Do you know that band?
I don't actually.
You know, sing it, Andreas.
I am not singing it.
It goes,
You made me sing
dun,
under
dun,
once,
dun,
and we lost listeners. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Oh.
Sean, take it
I
away.
think a band in the UK called A1, they did a cover of it.
Sadly,
well,
I've heard of A1.
Yeah.
Direction.
You know their very first video, A1's very first video is like this futuristic thing and they're on like a motorcycle?
Oh, I had no idea.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
The Spice
sorry.
Girls and Spice Up Your Life.
Listen, if you want to have an entire podcast about the Spice Girls, I am your woman.
Okay, we're going to have one.
Well, with their 20-year anniversary being hinted at, maybe we might have to.
Wait, when is that? When is that?
I don't know. They were hinting at it.
Well, I went to their reunion tour in 2008, and it was genuinely one of the greatest nights of my life.
Did you want to go to the last Olympics in London?
I've wanted to go to every Olympics possible, but I just never get to an Olympics.
They performed there.
They did. I'm a huge Spice Girls fan, and I'm a huge Victoria Beckham and David Beckham
Okay,
fan.
so let's say when they do something big next, like maybe their 20th anniversary, then we can have like a whole Spice Girls episode.
Yes,
We need
my
5
life dreams.
5 people on the capsule at once, each being a spice of some sort.
Wearing a wig.
Well, as if anyone would see that. There's
That would
no
be
point.
very scary. Spice. Thank you.
I want to be Baby Spice.
Of course.
I would pay to see that. Actually, that would
So
be.
who would you
hilarious.
be?
I love Posh Spice. That is my girl through and through.
And Andreas, you can be Ginger.
Oh when I
This
was
is just
younger,
scary all over Scary Spice right now.
when I was younger, I think I was into sporty, so I might have to go with that.
Oh yeah, there's a Sporty Spice.
Plus, I can get away with
Sporty
the
Spice
athletic
was
wear I have. So
Wait, isn't Sporty Spice Victoria?
No,
No,
Sporty
that's
Spice
Mel
is
C.
Mel C. Then there's Scary Spice, who's Mel B. Baby Spice, who's Emma. Ginger Spice, who is Jerry. And Posh Spice, who's Victoria.
Yes, Posh is David Beckham's wife.
I love the Beckhams. I know this is going on a totally different angle, but I love the Beckhams. I'll get more into that on my own.
All right.
Aha! Here's an idea. Let's go back to aha.
I feel like I'm missing something from this episode. I forgot what I was going to say.
The Walking Dead.
Oh
Hello.
my god, yes.
I was
Oh,
waiting.
speaking of the Spice Girls, no, I'm kidding.
Did I even mention that at the beginning?
No, you didn't.
Okay, yes. So, sorry. We're going to talk about The Walking Dead now.
Yes.
And that's
Season
kind of
5
funny.
finale.
Spoilers will be revealed here. And so the finale for season 5 just happened on Sunday, 90 minutes
Yes.
special on AMC. And so, what did you think, Mary?
You know what? I thought that this was a fantastic episode. If anybody watches The Walking Dead, there's a talk show afterwards called The Talking Dead, and they mentioned how there would be a lot of blood, and not all of it would be walker blood, which is the zombies. There was quite a bit of blood, but I honestly expected that somebody from the main crew, so Rick Grimes's group, I thought that we would lose somebody from the group, but rather I feel like they really got back in touch with their true humanity. There were a couple of situations where the members of our group had the chance to either really hurt somebody or kill somebody, and maybe at the beginning of the season there would not have even been a thought, and they would have killed whoever they were in this situation with. But they've kind of come full circle where they've found their humane side again.
I agree. I think so. The group, Rick's group, they got to the Alexandria safe point. It's like
Yes.
it's kind of like a what do you call it?
Gated community, you
Gated
could say.
community. I've been to one in Florida. It's exactly like what I imagined. And
Yeah.
so they encountered these people there, and they seem like nice people. However, they have no idea how to survive outside, or any like idea of what it's really like to be out in the wild with the walkers.
Yeah, with no food, no shelter, no
Yeah.
safety, no security.
They have all the luxuries and running water and electricity inside their gated community. And so I think, yeah. So in the finale, traditionally one of the main characters dies.
Mhm.
In the Talking Dead, they were going to have Carol and Daryl and Morgan on. So people thought that one of them were going to die. But it
Yes.
turned out none of the main characters died, like as you said. And each one of them in their moment of conflict,
Mhm.
individual conflict, they chose to have mercy. So, for example, Glenn and the guy, what's his name?
Nicholas.
I
Evil
thought
Nicholas.
Glenn was going to get it there. I was hoping Glenn would not die, and he did not die. That was great.
I was really scared. And this was Nicholas's second chance, because Glenn had a chance to not even take him back to Alexandria. He could have left him
That's right.
when they were off doing a run after Nicholas let Noah die. He basically killed Noah. And Glenn could have easily left him, but he didn't.
Yeah. And
so he had two chances.
Yeah, and Nicholas shot Glenn in
Yeah.
the arm. I thought
I
he
was
was going to be a
terrified.
goner there.
Yeah.
And then he did not. He chose. Glenn got back. He got the upper hand and chose not to kill Nicholas. And we got to see them like as homies, like trying to get back to the community.
Yeah. And
They
I think
did-
it was a
but-
big moment for both of them.
But to note that they did not actually reach the community.
No, we have not seen them safely.
We just saw them moving towards it.
Correct.
And
Carol.
so yes,
We have to
Carol.
talk about Carol.
Yes. What conflict was she in?
So Pete is one of the men that lived in Alexandria, and he's the surgeon. So he's highly revered and very well liked because he helps everybody. However, behind closed doors, he beats his wife.
He's a
and,
wife beater.
Yep, and he terrifies his child. And basically, now that Rick and the crew are in Alexandria, this behind the doors evil is now exposed and brought to the forefront. And things get really ugly between Rick and Pete. They beat each other up, and it almost causes a divide with Rick's group and the people of Alexandria. And at the very end of the episode, big spoiler alert, Pete comes hoping to kill Rick. And then what happens, Sean?
And then, wait, hold on. Say that again.
So when Pete comes,
Yes.
when they're having the conversation about Rick.
Yes. So Pete comes and then they get into a fight.
Mhm.
Wait, is that the part you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. And then Rick beats the crap out of him. And then it almost gets to a point where Rick wants to kill him. And then Diane, who is like the leader of that community, she's like, no, don't do that. And because the father told her that this group was bad, actually. It's not good for them. So he's like a backstabber at the same time.
Yeah, the priest who's part of Rick's group is saying that they can't be trusted and that they're really bad people. Yes. Meanwhile, talk about the kettle calling the pot black. I mean, he literally closed his doors on his congregation and watched them get eaten and killed.
And he admitted that finally.
Yeah, he finally admitted that. So then the episode continues and it sort of comes full circle because Diana, the leader of this group in Alexandria, calls a meeting that everybody needs to discuss Rick and how dare Rick do what he did. And I think this was also a moment of where there was this big shift from the humanity that the people of Alexandria showed Rick's group. Our group kind of regained their humanity, whereas Diana basically told Rick to kill one of their people, Pete.
Well, that's because he killed her husband by accident.
Exactly, because he was in a crazy fit of rage, basically.
So 2 things to note. So out of all the main characters who spared someone else's life, Rick was the only one who did any killing.
Correct.
Yeah, so I thought that was something to note.
Very interesting to note. And the whole season, it was this idea of hunt or be hunted.
Yeah. So, for example, like Sasha was in a situation with the father, and she did not kill him. Maggie helped stop that.
Yes. Oh, I forgot about that one. So there was even another one.
That was that one too.
Yeah.
I think there was another one.
Carol went to Pete's house.
Yes.
And took him a tuna casserole, but basically had a knife to his throat and said, just so you know, nobody will believe if I kill you and say that I was defending myself. So watch your back.
Carol at that meeting was amazing. Did you see how innocent she was?
She was fantastic.
Like smiling. It's like, hey.
Did you watch Talking Dead?
Yes, I did.
I thought it was so good that they pointed out what is obvious to some, but not to all, that Carol is this, underneath it all, she's a badass. She went through so much before the zombie apocalypse and during. And she's now in Alexandria, like playing very homemaker role and very innocent, wearing her little floral button-up cardigan. Meanwhile, that woman can rock the brains out of people with her guns. She's very intelligent, and I think she's the glue that's holding them together right now.
She's come the longest way from season 1. When 100%. I think about that, that was like the hugest character development change.
100%.
Yes, very good. So,
go Carol.
Andreas, what do you know about The Walking Dead? Have you been following the show at all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right until the very end.
Did we just ruin it all for you?
No. I've been caught up. I love especially the scene where Don Draper does advertising for Walter White's meth lab. So Tony Soprano doesn't come over and he doesn't have money and he gets the shit kicked out of him. No, I don't watch Walking Dead at all. And
I was going to say, I'm very confused because 1, you don't watch it, and 2, what just happened?
Oh, you don't remember that? Don Draper, he's the guy. No, I don't watch Walking Dead. And again, it doesn't matter if he spoiled it for me because I'm not a fan.
Okay, this is not for you then. I thought you liked zombie movies.
I'm not somebody who likes a lot of things because of what they are. I just like things that interest me, things that are good. The only few
it is a good show.
It's not bad, but it's not one that I really like.
Do you watch any TV shows?
Oh yeah, I love TV shows. Well, Mad Men, if that wasn't apparent enough. I don't know. You mean like one's still running or overall?
Like current ones.
Well, the only current one I'm really interested in is Mad Men, which is starting next Sunday, which I'm upset about. But we'll keep it together. It'll be good. We could always rewatch it and see.
Oh, Mary-Anne, one thing that we did not talk about too much was Morgan.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the reunion. When I saw the map and I remembered that scene. So, very long story short, for those of you who don't remember or know,
Give it to
Morgan was a character that Rick had met in the very beginning at season 1, and he had a family. His wife was basically turned into a walker, and he had a son. We see this progression of him very vaguely throughout the seasons where he becomes this crazy killer and he's on his own and he's just trying to survive. But him and Rick had this bond, and they met, and did they have a fight or some sort of falling out?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Well,
And
he was just very distressed.
yeah, at that time he was just in
His
a dark
wife died.
place. Yeah. So Rick felt terrible. So he left a map and he wrote something along the lines of, "Sorry, I was a jerk. Meet us in Washington." And at that point, Washington was where they assumed would be the next safe point. And Morgan found Daryl and basically helped save them. So at the end of the episode is this long season after season anticipated reunion of Rick and Morgan. And it's just, I had goosebumps. That was such a cool moment. So I'm really excited to see where that goes.
Absolutely.
Season 6.
And did you see that there's going to be a spin-off called Fear the Walking Dead?
I did see that. How do you feel about this?
I don't know. It's going to be a totally different cast, and it's going to be set in LA. It's supposed to be before, like, it's supposed to show how this zombie or walker disease happens, but then eventually it will catch up to present time.
So do we think that there will be a merging of the two?
No. They made sure
okay.
to. The Kirkland said the cast will not meet, which is good.
Because sometimes when they do that, it gets messy and it doesn't work.
Can you imagine being invested so much in Rick's group, and then in the summers you watch Fear the Walking Dead and you get invested in their group, and then at one point they have to kill each other?
Oh wow! I wouldn't put it
They
past
wouldn't
them.
do that. Yeah.
I don't think they would go that route, but I think that they value the story and the characters too much.
I wish they didn't choose LA. I wish they chose like a different continent. I want to know what's happening in like Europe or something.
Yeah, or down in Australia.
Maybe this disease could only be in maybe it's only in America, and maybe all of like the whole continent of America is actually like quarantined, and like they're gonna nuke America or something.
The American dream gone very, very wrong.
Yeah.
But just because of the One Direction thing?
And
Great, you brought it all back.
that's how we tie it all together.
But yeah, I like that finale. It was really well done. I think it was one
was.
of the highest rated finales.
Yeah, guaranteed if it wasn't on the same night as WrestleMania, it would have been number one.
I had to both of them, WrestleMania and the finale for The Walking Dead, were on Sunday night, and I cannot tape wrestling. Well,
No,
like, I don't
any
think you can.
sort of
Yeah,
sports should not be taped. If you're not watching a sporting event live, you don't bother.
watch it. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
had to watch The Walking Dead the next day, but it was worth it. All caught up
Absolutely.
now. And so at the beginning, I said I waited until today to record this episode, and instead of releasing it, well, I guess today as well on Tuesday, because I wanted to gather all my thoughts on all these different things that happened. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it was worth the wait. I think that in the short span of a week, there was a lot to talk about and some really exciting stuff, some controversial stuff, and
there
I
may
think it
be
was-
an April Fool's Day joke tomorrow, where a week ago, a music website, they said that Spotify has a buyer for $14 billion, and that news will be released Wednesday morning, which happens to be April 1st tomorrow. So
That
if
is
something
correct.
does happen, we'll get back on the mic and record something quickly.
Absolutely. Are you guys planning any April Fool's jokes?
No, I'm too old for that.
Good.
Are you?
No, I'm not. I can't. I'm too gullible and I believe everything.
Oh, do you? Okay. What about you, Andreas?
As if I tell you if I did. No.
So clearly
sadly-
he's plotting something.
Sadly, sadly
He
not
is the
that
buyer of Spotify.
Oh yeah, with my Bitcoin that I got. Yeah, it's
One Bitcoin.
that's all you need.
But okay, let's be speculative here. Let's say, actually, if Apple bought Spotify, that would be a huge move. Anyone that buys Spotify would be a huge move.
Imagine if it's just Jay-Z again, where it's just like, I got so many friends. You got to be over here with Tidal, and the rest of you over here with Spotify, because I got too many friends. That would be an interesting April Fool's.
Yeah.
If Apple's going to do that move, now would be the time.
See, if Jay-Z bought Spotify, yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Stay tuned.
By all the streaming services, so you just have to listen to all of the blueprints 1 through 11 over and over again.
That's the only thing that it streams. The blueprint.
That's all. Well, you only need the first one, but apart from that, that's all you need.
All right, Andreas, where can all of our listeners find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Andreas Babs, and I apologize for my extra Randy episode today. I don't know what was in my water, but I hope none of you got offended when I called the Spice Girls zombies and made fun of your favorite pop idols. It was all in jest. But you can find me at Andreas Babs if you want to threaten me like you did Chloe Grace Moretz.
And Mary-Anne, where can all of them find you?
You can find me at Merzy Merzy Bean on Twitter.
I wanted to ask, what does that mean?
It started in elementary school. I don't know, it was just a nickname that I was called Merzy, and I just added the bean because I thought it was quirky and cute. I don't know, it stuck. And it, for some reason, still to this day, people call me Mers or Merzy, so it's stuck around.
I see. Okay. And you can find myself on Twitter at Sean Chin. You can follow the show at Live in Limbo. Subscribe to the show on iTunes. Give us 5 stars and leave some nice words in the review section. And as always, you can find the show notes at liveinlimbo.com/capsule. Take care.
We're going to be streaming this for $20 soon.
Yes, you can listen to Capsule for $20 a month.